So this is take 18, due to numerous reasons, my dog and Asda being the two main ones. This is a quick, 20-minute video on a recent trip to Dalyan. Dalyan! As they've just said. Took me a lot to go to Turkey. I had a lot of preconceptions about it. I went 30 years ago and didn't enjoy it. So yeah, it was an unexpected pleasure, let's just say. And as the video pans out, you'll see that. £5 for a bag of Skittles was just shocking. I was so shocked and outraged I had to have a final pint of Tennent's at the pier just before I got on the flight. Honest to God, it's probably the best pint of Tennent's I've ever had in my life. The only one that beats that is the Scotch Corner in Costa Adeghi. £16 for 3 beer Moretti's, which washed down this absolutely beautiful, sensational corned beef and pickle roll bought from the Old Inn Cafe in Cumbernauld. If you're ever in Cumbernauld at the services, you need to go at. You need that in your life. Jet 2 touchdown pretty much on time. Again, really good flight as would be expected. Dalyano Airport, I was really impressed with. Great. Dalyan! And then on to Dalyan. 25 minutes after we got the bags and got out to the car, we were at the Port of Cal Hotel, and this beautiful thing of sensationalism was produced to me. And that was my holiday romance. Not the dodgy burger breakfast, but the Effis. And all I could think about was Effis. And I drank a lot of it. Look at it glistening in the sun. Delicious. Banana daiquiri was refreshing because it was really hot. As you'd expect, we went for a wander and we found the Latka Cafe. Now, I had a Turkish coffee because I was desperate to have one. The missus had a mojito. These nuts were so salty, I then very quickly had to go back onto the Effis, which was just delish. Served in a chilled glass, you cannot go wrong. Beautiful little place, we'll talk about that more. And then on to Aussies. Aussies I'd really been looking forward to because I'd connected through the Facebook pages, and again I'll talk about this, but really nice bar. And then on to the Dalyan Lounge, which was the other couple's favourite bar that we were with. Met them there, had a good few beers in there. Nice place again, really good location. And then that night we went to the Olive Garden for something to eat. I'll be honest, I can't remember it. From what I remember, it was good, and I didn't have a bad meal in Dalyan, so yeah, not too bad. This was breakfast the next day, healthy option. Setting up to go to Turtle Beach. 25-minute boat ride from the centre of Dalyan. Boat ride was actually really enjoyable. Really interesting place. The first thing of interest is you cannot buy beer on the beach, or at least on the side of the beach that the boats come in from. I was devastated. I had to drink pomegranate juice. So after my initial shock, got to sunbeds. Sunbeds are reasonably priced, and you're next to these turtle nests, which is just amazing thinking about it. Absolutely unreal. I had a tuna roll for my lunch, which was delish. Couldn't finish it. Mrs. had a chip butty, which she said also was delish. She couldn't finish it. And we hot stepped back to the hotel for some delicious Effis because we were gagging for it. And had a shower, and then we went out that night to find what we could find. A couple of cocktails before we left. This Bloody Mary was the best Bloody Mary I have had in my life. Byman said it was the first time he made it. It took him about 20 minutes. It was sensational. He put chilies in it, actually in it, and it worked. Just great. Then we found this place. I wish I knew what it was called. It's a hotel across the road from, and excuse my pronouncing, the Lemon Tree Garden, which is a really nice place that we actually ate that night, but I have no recollection of what I ate. I believe I was on the tiger milk, or lion's milk at this point, so apologies. I don't know the name of this place. The other reason I don't know it is because the card machine didn't work, so it never appeared on my bank statement. The next day we decided to have a pool day, so we just chilled around the pool and consumed more Effis than any Scotsman has ever consumed before, I think, in his natural life. The only thing we ate at the hotel, actually, all the time we were there, was this, other than the breakfast, and that's a beer platter. You see these beer platters advertised everywhere, and it was delicious. A lot nicer than it looked. The last onion ring sat on a piece of orange, and it soaked into it, but didn't make it soggy. So it actually had an orange sort of infused taste to it, which was stunning. And that night we decided we'd have a ruby. I love a ruby when I'm away. I just adore a curry in the heat. And my missus prefers Chinese. So we went to the Chinatown, I think it was called. And because that does both a Chinese and an Indian menu. I had the sizzler, which was a tandoori, which was delicious. Mrs. had curried vegetables and vegetable noodles. The vegetable noodles were the best vegetable noodles we've had anywhere, including China. They were sensational. And then we met this little chap, or chapess. Look at her smile. She got quite a bit of chicken that night. Beautiful little cat. And I'm a dog person, but that cat smile. And a wee cheeky Turkish tea before we headed back to the Latka Cafe to indulge in more cocktails. I will say the cocktails weren't amazing, but they were good, and the location was spot on. You could just chill back, and the music was great. And then we discovered this place, Vom or Vom, and it's beautiful. And it's right on the bank of the river again, quite close to where you take the road to come in, heading back towards the Portal. And it's got some really chill jazz music playing now. Not like scat jazz, but chill, just lounge jazz, I suppose. I'm not really into much jazz genres, so I don't know how you'd describe it. But really, really nice vibe. Very chilled back, very relaxed. The staff all the way through the resort have been amazing. And this place was exactly the same. And it was just a beautiful place to sit and watch the sunset. The boats come up and down the river. Enjoy a cocktail. Enjoy a beer. Watch the ducks. Have a gin fizz. Don't judge me. It's the only place I drink gin abroad in a fizz. No other way. I think this was a mango mojito. Really delicious. And then back onto the Effis to counteract the gin fizz. The next day, still no hangover by the way, we went on a boat trip. And the boat trip was great. Roughly 20 quid a ticket. There were four of us on the boat. There was another group of four, family from England, and then there was a Dutch guy and his Turkish wife on it as well. So it was quite a decent sized boat, but because it wasn't peak time, it seemed quite empty. It seemed not overly busy, which was brilliant, and everyone got on and everyone spoke to each other, which was lovely. It was a lovely day. We stopped off at the mud baths. We had about an hour here. It was an extra. It was less than £1. I don't know how much. I believe I've heard everything from 30p to 80p, but it wasn't expensive. And that gives you an hour here, and you could use the mud baths, which were really good fun. And then I jumped into the lake itself, and then you can go into the hot bath bits as well, and really good. And then you're back on the boat and you're steaming down the river, round the lake a bit, and then down the river, and just chilling back and having Effis and sunbathing and watching the other boats go past, and just absolutely beautiful. Included in your £20, and this is great value, was your lunch, which if you think about what you get 20 quid back in the UK, you probably, you certainly wouldn't be getting an all-day boat trip with a lunch included. Just mental, absolutely mental. The geography of the area as well is spectacular. You go from this into the lake itself with mountains around it. It's just beautiful. And this is a cooperative owned by all the boats, or ran by all the boats. And it's, as you can see, it's you're not meant to feed the cats or pat the cats. It's a bit school dinnery looking. When you get on the boat first thing in the morning, they take your order. Do you want fish? Do you want chicken? You're vegetarian. And you give them the order, and then when you land here, the captain or the one of the boys on the boat takes you in and sits you at a table with a number on it, and then a boy comes round with a trolley and offers you drinks, whether it's soft drinks, water, Effis, and you pay for the drinks, which again is 20 quid for the boat, so you're not going to bother with that. And the drinks weren't expensive. You're looking at 2 quid for a bottle of Effis, and it was a big bottle, so really good value for money. Really, really good value. And again, the staff are brilliant. The staff are really good. Loads of cats though. Never seen so many bloody cats. The tomato soup wasn't great. The tomato soup was like powdered tomato soup, but for 20 quid what do you expect? There's a little map of the area that we were in. As you can see, the big lake, and then the river and then out to the sea. Another photo of the thing itself. And this was my fish. The fish was great. I mean, I'd have paid 20 quid for that on its own. And then back on the boat, and then it stops off at a blue crab rescue centre. I believe it's their mating season just now. Fortunately, we didn't see humping crabs, but that might have been a video in itself. That's the hotel we were staying in, the Port Cal, just showing you how close to the river it actually was. We walked in the morning to get the boat and then discovered that the boat could have picked us up there, which was a bit annoying, but hey ho. And then back to Latka Cafe for another couple of acceptable cocktails, let's just say. And this was actually at the hotel. It was a pina colada and obviously an Effis. And then we went to Aussie's. Now Aussie's, I connected with Aussie's through the Facebook page, and I'm so glad I did. This was the best pizza I have ever had outside of Italy. It was phenomenal. And there was no meat on it because we halved it. And the onion rings their onion ring game is sensational. You have to go to Aussie's. It is well worth finding it. And he's such a nice guy. And at this point, I am indeed in love with Dalyan. It's just an amazing place. I had a lovely Bacardi there. You can see the only Bacardi I had of the trip. And then back to a different place actually. This was Cafe Dalyano, which I believe the guys tell me had the best cocktails in the resort. The pear drop one did taste sensational. And then back to the jazz bar for another gin fizz. Yeah, well, don't judge. I'd been drinking beer all day and it was refreshing. And it was nice. And another mango or whatever it was, mojito. And again, you watch the sunset come in, you're chilled. That was actually a nice group of Germans in front of me. Words I never thought I'd utter. But they were lovely, really nice people. Everyone was nice. And that view, my iPhone does not do it justice. And then back onto the Effis. I think this was back in the unnamed bar. Because I distinctly remember running back to the town to get money because I didn't have enough on me because the card machine didn't work again, and falling flat on my face, watching the amusement of everybody other than my wife, who amused afterwards when she didn't see it. So back to the pool. The great thing about my hotel was that the pool bar was literally a 30-second walk from there, so you can go and grab a pint while you're sitting in the room. And then we decided to go for a late lunch. We went to this place called the Pier. Now the Pier is predominantly a seafood place, but it also does pasta and it does mezzi. And the food was absolutely amazing. The view was stunning. This place has just been done, I think, really contemporary, right on the riverbank. Again, the staff was spectacular and the food was unbelievable. Oh, that was mine. I wish I could lie, but I just wanted something fresh. Misses at a cocktail, I'm not sure what it was. These were prawn dumplings, which was stunning. Deep fried aubergine, which was okay, it was nice. That beetroot salad was amazing, with the feta to go through it. And the olives just taste brilliant everywhere. Hummus, I don't like hummus, but that hummus was great, a little bit of paprika on it. And this was the best thing I ate all holiday. It was a tuna kebab. Finished it off with a beautiful cup of Turkish coffee and then back onto the Effis. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful meal. And it filled us up for the day. And we drank a lot more that day but didn't eat much more. And on the way back we stopped off at a great little ice cream place. That was a strawberry cheesecake that the missus had. And I had a large crepe. That was a large crepe that I had, and it was delicious. It was really perfect. I then back to the hotel, and I think I had a couple of beers that night watching the football. Next day, actually I couldn't be watching the football because next day was market day, and it was not what I expected, and I had great fun. I didn't expect I would enjoy that. And then after it, by the way, we didn't buy all those trainers. Afterwards, we stopped off for the cheapest pint of Effis we'd seen, which I think was about 140, 150 for the pint. And we saw this big guy as well, which he lives there, just walking along the road, and the boys, it's this big bird sitting there at the end of the road. Back to Aussie's for a few. Again, just brilliant little bar, and the staff was so friendly. and it was cold that day and raining, and this chap wouldn't move off his seat, and I'm not a big cat person. I ended up sitting next to us, and then walking back up towards the town, we got through the square, which was a beautiful little spot with a mosque sitting at one side, and then bars and restaurants and cafes all lining on it. Just absolutely stunning. When the call to prayer comes out, you just feel you're somewhere different. Oh wow. Another one. So that was a Turkish wedding. We saw another one when we were sitting in Chinatown, but I was too busy stuffing my face and couldn't video it, which was quite interesting. Knob kebab does not sound magnificent, I've got to admit. So I didn't go for the knob kebab. I went for this bad boy, which I can't remember what it was. And this was the River House, which was delicious, really good. And then back to the hotel for a bit of football. This was the night of the Champions League final, and I really did drink too much that night. But that Ephes was delicious. I also drank a bit of lion milk that night and a couple of other shots, and it was great. A bunch of lads sitting around the pool and just watching the football and enjoying it. The next day, I'm going on record to say I still wasn't hungover, and we discovered this place, Lutz. Now, it classes itself as a Latino restaurant, not a Mexican restaurant. I was desperate to try that Belfast beer, and it was really, really nice. Although, I must admit, I poured it like I was an amateur. I think it was just excitement of actually getting to try it. Such a light beer. This little bowl of nachos never seemed to go down. It was all amazing. The guacamole was sensational. And this, it was like a potato tortilla pie. Oh, it was amazing. This is the grounds of the hotel, little garden bit that you could sit and you could watch the river. And then the last night's meal, we went to the River House, which overlooks the tombs and sits sort of high just at the start of the town. Food was, again, as I said, never had a bad meal. Food was sensational. This is the missus's vegetable casserole, which she tells me was delish, and I had a moussaka, which was really, really nice. It was a bit different. It was good. And as ever, we went for a drink into the Cafe Dalyano to have a last pear drop cocktail and an Ephes for myself. And the cats there are all named and beautiful things. And people ask, is Dalyan quiet? Dalyan is quiet. It's not Mamres, it's not Ishmael. It's got a relaxed vibe to it. But there is a nightlife, as you can see here. And I think it is one of these places, if you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you want to go and find a drink and you want to dance, you'll find somewhere that's open that you can have a drink and have a dance. We tend to go out earlier and be back in. I think the latest we're in was back at 1, 2 o'clock, so not too bad actually. The bars will tend to stay open as long as you want them to. And this was the last morning. We're just chilling back in the gardens, and then because Dalyan is such a small resort, your airport links with Jet2 are pretty much private linked into the airport, which was great but really expensive. This McDonald's meal was 17 quid. I had the burger, she had the fries, we shared the Coke, and then back onto Jet2 for the trip back up to Glasgow. So what were my thoughts on Turkey? I actually thought it was brilliant. I'm shocked that people think these teeth were actually done when I'm there, but I absolutely thought it was brilliant. I'm a Tenerife boy, but I actually thought it was better than Tenerife, and I look forward to going back to